Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In this video, we're going to be looking at the CLA EchoSphere plugin from Waves. Now, at the moment, today is Cyber Monday. Since Black Friday, it's been a free download, and at the moment, it's still a free download. So if you haven't downloaded it already, download it and get it into DAW. The CLA EchoSphere plugin is basically a delay and a reverb all in one. So let's get to it. Before we listen to the EchoSphere plugin, let's put it in bypass and let's listen to the standard reverb and delay that I would normally use. Now, the first reverb that I would normally pull up, because I use a lot of UAD stuff, would be Capital Chambers, and delay-wise would be Echo Boy. So let's hear the vocal with those two plugins on.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. I'm not when you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me. No.
So what I'm going to do next is to mute my reverb and delay that I would normally use, and let's bring in EchoSphere, and let's hear that again. Now this is the default setting.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. I'm not when you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me.
So that's its default setting. Now I've got it as a send. So because we've got it as a send, what we need to do is to turn the mix up to 100% wet. Let's have another listen.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. I'm not when you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me. No. Usually I take the lead, apparently not now. Certainly you gotta leave, the time's running out. I know it's nighttime.
Now my initial thoughts, this is the first time that I've heard it. I think it sounds absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do is try and work our way around the plugin. Now in my usual style, I haven't read the manual, as what I like to do is try and find my way around these plugins just without actually reading the manual. So what we can do here is we can mute the plate and the slap. So what I'm going to do first of all, just to listen to the slap delay, let's mute the plate and let's have a look at the slap.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me.
Let's turn up a bit.
I'm not when you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me.
At the moment, the time is set to milliseconds, and as you can see, we've got a 229 millisecond delay. Now, normally for me, a slap delay would be anything, say, between 70 milliseconds to about 120. So let's try that. Let's bring back the milliseconds to, let's try about 120. And let's hear that again.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. I'm not when you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me.
So we've also got this section up here, which is mod. So I'm guessing that's modulation. So we can just add some modulation into that. Modulation always adds so much to delays. I use it all the time, especially for guitars, and you get that sort of memory man sort of effect on guitars. Now on vocals, I've got to be honest, I don't normally use a modulated delay, but let's see how it sounds.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. I'm not when you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me.
Now that sounds great. So we've got this other section down here where we can sync to the tempo of the track, and we can use different divisions. So if I turn that on, as you can see, if I click here, we've got all these different choices of divisions that we can use. Now, as I said earlier, a slap delay for me is normally between, say, 70 milliseconds and 120 milliseconds, but we can choose up to whole notes on this, which would take it way past what I would consider to be a slap delay. But let's try eighth notes, as that's a standard delay that I would normally use. And let's see how that sounds.
No, words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. I'm not when you've got your...
Okay, so that again sounds absolutely brilliant. Now this again would be a standard delay, mono delay that I would normally use for a vocal. Now let's have a look here. We've got high pass and low pass filters, so we can actually, take the low frequencies off and the high frequencies off. So let's try that.
Eyes on me, anxiety is choking me. No.
And now let's bring in the reverb.
Words come easily, but recently they're leaving me. Oh no.
I mean, instantly it sounds fantastic. I mean, there's nothing that I'd want to change on this, but let's play around with the modulation. Now, modulation sounds fantastic on reverbs. It's basically why Lexicon reverbs sound so good and why Lexicon reverbs became so popular in the late 70s, early 80s, because it modulated the reverb to a way that it just gave some extra depth. Let's hear that.
When you've got your eyes on me, anxiety is choking me.
And let's bring the pre-delay back. Let's try about 80 milliseconds.
No, usually I take the lead, apparently not now. Certainly you gotta leave, the time's running out. I know it's not nighttime, don't wanna say goodbye. You could be mine for a lifetime. I wanna tell you why, every time I try.
I cannot believe that this plugin at the moment is free. If it wasn't free, I would definitely buy it. I think it sounds unbelievable. The next thing we're going to do is to try it on some acoustic guitars. Now, let's have a listen to the acoustic guitars with the original reverb that I chose in the mix. So it's a tight room sort of reverb. So what I'm going to do on this track is to copy it into the insert. So I'm not going to use it as a send. I'm going to use it straight in the inserts. So let's copy over CLA EchoSphere mono to stereo. And I'm going to put it straight over to my inserts. Now, if you're using Studio One and you want to allow the stereo capability of this, you've got to turn the channel onto stereo. So what we do is we come over here and we make sure that the channel is actually in stereo. So if you've got a mono channel, it looks like this, and stereo looks like this. Let's hear it back. And let's modulate the delay. Now, because it's a guitar and you're using chords, you can really hear the modulation way more than you can if you're using the vocals. Let's turn on the plate. Let's hear that in the track.
I know it's not nighttime, don't wanna say goodbye. You could be mine for a lifetime.
I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of this. Now, if you haven't downloaded this plugin, as I said, at the moment it is free. This was a Black Friday 2020 deal, but as far as I know, it's still free. So don't delay and download this plugin. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. If you got something out of this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on that bell button and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul and I'll see you next time. Cheers.